Hey everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the book blogger behind Utopia State of Mind, and today I'm going to be answering some Q&A questions. So, I hit 3K on Instagram last year, and for the 3K I wanted to do like a Q&A, and I had a lot of really great questions, and I haven't answered all of them. So my idea was every post I would answer them, and I think maybe I still will try to do that. But I also figured you all have been waiting long enough for me to answer these questions, so I might as well just answer them. Because some of them were also having to do with bookish makeup looks, or like Bookstagram in general. So I'm going to try to answer your questions now. I'm so sorry it's taken so long. As I said, I'm still going to try to answer some of them on Instagram as well. But here's my apology makeup video to you. So I have the questions up on my phone, so if you see me like always looking, it's because I'm on my phone. And I'm going to try to answer them kind of in categories. I'm going to start off with a book looks category because I'm wearing a book look right now for the Poet X. I don't know when this video is going live, so I don't know if you've already seen it. If you haven't, I'm very sorry. Spoiler, this is it. So the first question was, what's my favorite book look I've done? This is so hard because, okay, so one of the favorite book looks I've done definitely has to be A Song Below Water. I did this like mermaid thing where I cut out with using a like punch cutter. I cut out all these things that kind of made it look like scales, and then I glued them all together, and then I put them onto my face, and then I like put eyeshadow on them as well, and then I did all sorts of little stuff with like liquid eyeshadow to make little diamonds on my face. So that has to be my most time intensive look, and that was because Tor sent me an arc, and they were supposed to post on the International like Mermaid Day, I think it was. So that was a lot of work, but it definitely is one of my favorite ones to look back on, and it's also something where I definitely want to do like something like that again in the future. But that has to be one of my favorite book looks I've done. Next question is, how do you decide which books to do looks for? I decide normally by a few different criteria. So the first is hype. If I think that people will be interested in seeing the book look, then I do it by hype. I also do the opposite and think, okay, I've not seen anyone talk about this book, and they should. So it's like one of those things where both of those criteria end up putting a factor or being a factor in my decision making, but it is a factor. For example, for YouTube, I don't want to be filming a lot of book looks that no one's going to be interested in, so that I am considering hype more than on Instagram, where a lot of people maybe are only looking at the book like makeup anyway and not caring as much about the book. So that's certainly a factor. The next factor is, do I like the book? I don't do book looks for books I don't like. Sometimes I'll do a book look that I haven't read the book, so if I don't end up liking that one, then like I just end up playing myself. But normally I don't do book looks for books I don't like. So that's a huge factor. And the third one also is like, do I have a vision for that book look? So for example, I love Jade War and Jade City. I don't really know, I want to do a look for them, but I don't know what I want to do for them, just because the covers are basically only black and red or black and green. And I like to do things where there's a little bit more like creative colors that I can think of, and I just haven't thought of like what I want to do for them. So that's certainly a consideration I make when I think about book looks and book looks planning specifically. Also in my grid for Instagram, I like to do every third picture part of me in the picture. So whether that's, you know, you see my torso, or like even a book look, or you see like something of me in it. That's kind of how I plan the book look kind of things. And I also try to know that I do the same pose for book looks like all the time. So I try to, in my head, plan, okay, I'm doing a book look this time, and I'm probably gonna do a pose that's like, and so I can't just do those like every third picture. That's gonna get really boring for people. So that's certainly a consideration I have to make as well. The next question is, how do you pull off red eyeshadow? So I'm like knocking over all the makeup in front of me. The key, I think, for pulling off red eyeshadow is, I like to go big or go home, right? So I feel like if you do a red eyeshadow, but it's very, very hazy, very light, that can just look a little bit like your eyes irritated. Some people can pull it off and it's gorgeous, okay? That's just not me. For me, for red eyeshadow, it's go big, go home. Like, put on that red. So that basically when someone sees you, they're like, oh my god, red eyeshadow, and not, oh my god, what is wrong with your eye? That's the thing. Also, for me, because I'm using red eyeshadow in mostly kind of glam looks, and I'm not counting orange or burnt orange, okay, because I wear those like on a regular basis almost. But when I wear red eyeshadow, it is like, you will tell that it's glam. So I'll either do, you know, that really firm kind of very pointy line, you know, with the tape, or I'm going to be doing something with gigantic winged eyeliner. Like, you will be able to know that it's part of the aesthetic of the look just because it's going to match the tone of my look as well. The next questions are kind of on Bookstagram planning. How do you organize yourself for Bookstagram, picture planning, captioning, etc.? So for me, I really like to use the app Preview, and this helps me put in the photos that I'm taking. I don't do a lot of planning actual for photos. I mean, I'll have ideas like I want to do a photo of, you know, for this audiobook or for this arc or this finished copy that I got. But I don't do a lot of planning like, oh, okay, this is what I'm gonna do and this is what I'm gonna do. I take a lot of photos, I throw them all onto my phone, or I throw them all into a folder on my computer, and then I will plan it like for, I guess, like maybe a 2-week block so that I know I'm not repeating very often. This is why Preview is very helpful. Yeah, so I feel like that's basically all for the picture planning process. I've been taking more photos on my camera because I'm using it more often for YouTube, so it's just kind of out all the time. It didn't used to be out all the time, so I just used my phone. But because of that, I have a lot of them on my computer, so I leave all the pictures on the computer that I need to edit like right on my desktop, so I see it every day and it just stares me in the face. And then I have a photo folder where it actually just says, I think, Insta backlog. So basically it's a photo where when I like one setup, I'll take like 5 photos of different angles, different focal points in the photo, especially ones where there's a lot of things going on or a lot of books going on, just so that I can use those photos later, because sometimes I just don't have a photo, because I like to do things where I'll do like maybe a photo session twice a week maybe. I like to let inspiration go, but for a lot of things it's kind of annoying to like pull all the books down, pull all my props and trays out and stuff. So that's what I like to do, to kind of just give myself a little bit of a buffer zone. As I said, I use Preview to look at the photos beforehand. Captions, I don't plan my captions ahead of time. Only if I'm doing a tour that I need to make sure all the hashtags are right and the publishers are right do I really plan my captions ahead. I write the captions as I'm doing it, so basically I am doing it like within 5 minutes essentially. But I do have a Google Keep note of hashtags, and I like to vary up the hashtags I'll use. So I'll use like half of one block or half of another block, so I like to vary up the hashtags. But I don't like plan the captions ahead of time. How do you decide what to read next? I would like to do more mood reading in 2021. I am not a mood reader. I'm a planner. I have a Trello board of all my arcs. That's basically how I'm creating my schedule. I plan out like what I want to read the week before. So I have everything organized by release date. That's normally how I plan my books. And then I have backlist books that I read or buddy books that I read, and then I kind of add on top of that, and I do plan those out as well. So I'm a big planner in general, and that's how I decide what to read next. But it's certainly not a mood thing, but I wish it would be more of a mood thing. So maybe room for improvement in 2021. What keeps you motivated while book blogging? Sue. What keeps me motivated? First of all, people telling me that they've read a review or that they've purchased a book based on my recommendation, that keeps me going a lot. And also little milestones, right? So, for example, when my blurb was in the Poppy War, or if I see like an author really thanking me for a review, or you know, like that. So those kinds of encouraging things people are saying, and the milestones I'm achieving, like cover reveals or excerpts, you know, those kinds of things, that definitely keeps me blogging. And I care a lot about diverse stories, and so I try to read more diversely all the time. And so that for me is like why I'm doing it. So to make sure that people are able to find books that they may not have known about, or books that diversify their reading. Basically, that's my mission statement, I guess. So I think that that is the core of why I book blog, and all of the encouragement and stuff just reminds me on when I'm having an off day that, like, if I don't know if this reaches someone, or if I don't know if this review reaches anybody, or this YouTube video reaches anybody, it has the potential to reach people. Maybe reach people who watch it but they don't comment, or people who read reviews and don't comment or like or retweet on Twitter, like any of those stuff. It has the potential to do so. And if I can't see it right now, then I will see it in the future. So for example, let me bring up the Poppy War thing. I read the Poppy War as an ARC ages ago. I stumbled across the Poppy War ARC. It was something I traded for, but it wasn't something I was sent. And I wrote my review and I thought nothing of it. Like, this was before everyone really loved it. And yeah, I mean, I found a lot of people who really loved the ARC as well, like me, but you know, I didn't think much about it. And then the Dragon Republic published, and I still wasn't really thinking about it. And I also feel like when I think of people and I think of their favorite books and all the things they've done to promote those books, I'm like, oh yeah, I really love that book too, but I never think of myself with that. For example, I knew that I really loved the Poppy War, but based on how much I've seen other of my friends promote the Poppy War more, I was like, oh, when people think of me, they're not going to think of the Poppy War. I love it, but like, that's just the case. I have so many books that I love. Sometimes I can't shout about them all the time. But then when I found out that my blurb was in the book, which thank you to the very kind person who told me that my blurb was in the paperback of the Poppy War, that was when it kind of like came around, you know, and that was something that happened years ago, and that then just came about, and also no one told me about it. So like, that's what I mean when I think about what keeps me going, right? Are those experiences which may not make a huge impact at the time, but whose ripple effects will potentially come back around in the future, or an opportunity like that will come back around in the future, essentially. So I'm gonna skip actually to like a category that I wrote that's etc. So just basically other questions. One of the first one is a favorite book snack. I don't know, I'm really bad at remembering specific like snacks in books that have really made an impact on me. The only one I can think of really is from Moira Milan, Ignite the Stars. They have this like chocolate fluffy thing in it, but that's actually only because my friend Mike was like, hey, I really like that. So it's only because someone brought it up to my attention. So I'm gonna interpret this question as, what's my favorite snack to eat while reading a book? And so for me, I love things that are crunchy, okay? I don't even eat that much thing of like crunchy stuff when I'm not doing something else, but I love things that are crunchy when I'm doing something else. I just like that satisfaction of like hearing that crunch, which, you know, so when I'm reading, sometimes I'll be eating chips or popcorn or something like that. Something that I can like really mindlessly put my hand in like a bowl and reach out and eat. I definitely don't like something where I need to pay attention to it, because, you know, then I won't be reading, I'll just be eating. What book or fandom do you want enamel pins for? I am so glad this was asked. I love enamel pins, so this is like the perfect question. I really wish that The Bone Witch and The Reader had more enamel pins. Okay, so that, Jade City, The Poppy War, like I basically wish that all of my favorites, which are not as hyped, I think, as other books, had more enamel pins, right? I would love The Reader, I love The Bone Witch, I love also for like Wild Magic by Tamora Pierce. I would love more Poppy War pins. I love Jade City, like Jade, you know, all the Jade book pins. Just, yeah, I want more diverse pins in general. Like, I just want only diverse pins. It's just like, I have so many Six of Crows pins, A Darker Shade of Magic, Strange the Dreamer. Like, I have a pin hoop of just those pins. But I want more diverse pins, okay? I want more diverse backlist book pins. What shows are you currently watching? Okay, I'm currently watching WandaVision. I'm one of those people who really love the Marvel Universe. I've watched all of the Marvel movies in cinematic order like 2 or 3 times. for my own when I was watching them like as they came out, and then I rewatched them all with my dad. Okay, I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they're just so fun. Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite like comfort movies. So I'm currently watching WandaVision, and I like it so far. What else am I watching currently? Thing is, I'm really bad about picking up shows. For me, it's like I have to pick it up and then watch it immediately, all of it, which is why I'm like tentatively keeping up with WandaVision, because it's like every week you get a new episode. But I'm generally one of those people where I pick up a show, watch it completely, put it down, don't want something for months. So when I'm eating, or like, you know, when you might be watching shows, I'm also mostly watching YouTube videos. And at the moment, I'm only really watching YouTube videos about Among Us, cow hoof trimming, which is like ridiculous because I've never worked on a farm, don't want to work on a farm, never been very close to a cow, but still really enjoy watching cows' feet get trimmed. So Among Us, makeup, cow hoof trimming. I also really like snake discovery, which is also like, I don't have snakes, I never want a snake, really enjoy watching the videos for. So it's just like, you know, a weird kind of spread of YouTube videos that I'm watching. What's your favorite post that you have made? I think one of the favorite posts that I've made, so as I said, I really love the Song Below Water picture, but one of my favorite posts I've made also has to be a long time ago. My partner helped me take this photo where I was like sitting like this on a pile of books, and it ended up being featured, or I ended up being featured in a Bookish article of like bookstagrammers to follow, and it ended up being like the little photo, you know, that comes up in the preview, and I was like, that's me. So that's definitely one of my most nostalgic photos. It was also, my partner helped me take it. You will see, well actually you won't see, there's a ton of outtakes for that photo session, essentially. Favorite enamel pin. This feels so it feels so wrong to pick a favorite enamel pin. I guess one of my first enamel pins has to be the pre-order one for the Astonishing Color of After, where it says believing is a kind of magic. It's definitely one of my most nostalgic book pin like combinations. So I'm doing my whole pin series where I talk about my pin collection and my favorite pins and the stories behind them, so I don't want to rehash that too much. If I haven't like already posted that video, it's coming. If I have, I'll leave the link below. So that is definitely one of my favorite enamel pins, and certainly the first one that comes to mind when I think about it. The next one is favorite nostalgic childhood food. I wasn't really allowed to eat junk food as a kid, so I think one of my favorite childhood nostalgic foods has to be pizza rolls, because I ended up eating them a lot more in high school when I was able to convince my mom to let me buy them. And it's just like, okay, you put pizza rolls in the microwave for whatever, like a minute or two, and out comes mini pizzas all like stuffed together. That's one of my favorite nostalgic childhood foods. Definitely goldfish. When I was younger, we lived, like, it was still kind of a drive, but it was worth it, to the Pepperidge Farm Hill outlet. And basically every year they would do like a really big sale. So every year, or maybe not every year, but we'd go a couple times, where my mom, my sister, and I would go to the Pepperidge Farm outlet and just buy a bunch of goldfish, basically, like our couple months worth of goldfish, because they were really, really cheap. So that's one of my favorite like childhood things. So we do like, oh, I'll buy pretzel goldfish or rainbow goldfish or mini goldfish or like pizza goldfish, because they were all really on sale. And so that was the opportunity, and we really never bought like those kinds of snacks on not sale. So that was like a special treat, and it's also like a whole memory attached to that as well. If you have any like actual Q&A questions you want to ask me, maybe also about not books, so that we leave like those questions for another video, definitely leave them below. I'll leave everyone I've mentioned, all the photos, links, whatever, my links, everything down below as well. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!